At the White House, President Trump and Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu agreed to step up pressure on Iran to give up its nuclear program. According to Axios, this includes targeting Tehran's oil exports to China, which account for 80% of its shipments. Trump has already signed an executive order imposing 25% tariffs on China for trading with Iran. Meanwhile, Reuters reports that the U.S. military is preparing for the possibility of sustained weeks-long operations against Iran if President Trump orders an attack.
The disclosure raises the stakes for the diplomacy underway between the United States and Iran. U.S. envoys Steve Witkoff and Jared Kushner will hold negotiations with Iran on Tuesday in Geneva, with representatives from Oman acting as mediators. On Saturday, U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio said Trump's preference was to reach a deal with Tehran, but said, quote, "That's very hard to do."
I believe the Ayatollah and his regime, not the Iranian people, are religious fanatics, religious Nazis. Hitler wanted a master race. They want a master religion. So why don't I mention that? There's no negotiating with these people, in my view. They're hell-bent on enacting an agenda based on religion that teaches them to lie, teaches them to destroy in the name of God.
Meanwhile, Trump has amassed military forces in the region. U.S. officials said on Friday the Pentagon was sending an additional aircraft carrier to the Middle East, adding thousands more troops along with firepower capable of waging attacks and defending against them.
No action.
On Friday, Trump was asked if he'd want to see regime change in Iran.
Well, it seems like that would be the best thing that could happen. For 47 years, they've been talking and talking and talking. In the meantime, we've lost a lot of lives.
Trump has long voiced skepticism about sending ground troops into Iran, and the kinds of U.S. firepower arrayed into the Middle East so far suggest options for strikes primarily by air and naval forces. Asked for comment on the preparations for a potentially sustained U.S. military operation, a White House spokesperson said, quote, "President Trump has all options on the table with regard to Iran." The Pentagon declined to comment. In a sustained campaign, the U.S. military could hit Iranian state and security facilities, not just nuclear infrastructure, one of the officials said, who declined to provide specific details. Trump has repeatedly threatened to bomb Iran over its nuclear and ballistic missile programs and crushing of internal dissent. Iran's Revolutionary Guard has warned that, in case of strikes on Iranian territory, it could retaliate against any U.S. military base.
I think President Trump realizes that he needs to convince the whole world that given a diplomatic solution or diplomatic effort the maximum chance. We will have to see to what extent the Iranians from their side are willing to settle for what is being asked. I don't see it very likely that they will actually come even close to what are the demands, which will then say, look, by diplomatic means we haven't managed to get it done, so now we can move forward with that.